Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Fantasy Hockey Pucks podcast. I'm with our host, Antonio Kaplis, and I'm lead analyst, Ben Rutledge. We are
Hello,
back,
everyone.
baby, on this Feel Good Friday, and let's chat some puck. So, before we get anything going, how's your week been so far, Antonio?
I've been doing all right. I'm singing in a Queen concert coming up this Saturday, so looking forward to that. How about you? How's it been? I heard you had a big night for basketball the other day.
Oh, yeah, of course. The boys were absolutely dialed in intramurals. We got blown out 51 to 18. We're like that. We're him.
Oh, oh,
Um, but I scored 13. I scored 13 of the
he's
18.
him.
So I was trying. I was trying.
Put the team on his
Yeah,
back.
the Leafs finally got a dub last night. Hopefully, it didn't save Keith's job. Um,
They're still
and
not the
yeah,
Bruins. They're still not the Bruins, okay? The Bruins
listen,
shit
listen,
on, shit on the
listen. We've had our
Colorado
time.
Avalanche.
We've peaked in January plenty of times. Okay, we don't need to peak in January.
You're right. You peaked in December.
Sure, whatever you say.
All right. Let's get going here with our first topic of debate, we shall say. Um, so, as we come around the corner, February 6th, we have the uh, NHL All Star game coming up. And this is probably one of our favorite times of year every year, not because we enjoy the NHL All Star game, but because we can shit on it. Because
Yeah,
the
seriously.
game format is just awful. It's atrocious.
Yeah, there's really not much else that needs to be said. Um, Sorry, as I figure out my stuff on my end. But anyway, yeah, the All Star Game is stupid. Why does every team need a representative? If you're an Arizona Coyotes fan, you're tuning in not to watch Clayton Keller. You're tuning in to watch the best players in the world play and do their thing. Why is Boone Jenner in the All Star Game? Why is Tom Wilson in the All Star Game?
You
It
know,
makes
and
no sense.
and we've talked about it before. It's like the average fan like us would much prefer to just see a competitive game, even if my team was terrible. If my team was terrible and we had no all stars, it's like okay, we need to be better. But like we don't deserve to have like some guy that'd be a third liner on another team going to the All Star game.
I
Like,
know.
come on.
I know. It doesn't like why is Oliver Bjorkstrand in it? He's like a middle six forward on an average team in the NHL. Like why is he in the All Star game?
Exactly, exactly.
I get
Okay,
he's having a solid year. He's just under a point per game, but still makes no sense.
all right. Let's get through our All Star rosters. So basically, what we've done is because we're boycotting the current NHL All Star format because they're retarded. Um, we've made our own, and we were
We
saying basically,
apologize. We apologize for Antonio's words. We
you know,
don't stand by that. That's not our values here at FHP. Okay, we're sorry. Antonio made a mistake.
anything we say on this podcast is not meant to hurt anybody, but it's our genuine opinions. So as we begin, let's go, Ben. Let's go with your roster first. So we've gone with 14 forwards from each conference, 6 defensemen, and 2 goalies. So you just
Yep.
have your starting 20
So
basically
I
with,
just did
with an
mine
extra
basically
two.
like by, yeah, I just did mine like by, I think Antonio actually put together a line if he wanted to make this a team. I didn't care that much. I just wanted to rank it one, two, three from each position, one, two, three, four from each position. So my left wing one, Artemi Panarin, left wing two, William Nylander, left wing three, even though he's technically a right winger, Sam Reinhart, and then left wing four, Jake Gensel. Then for centers, center one, Austin Matthews, center two, Sidney Crosby, center three, Braden Point, and then center four, Jack Hughes. Then for right wingers, we have Nikita Kucherov, David Pastrnak, Mitch Marner, and Jesper Bratt. My two extras being Sebastian Aho and Matthew Barzell. Um, Most of those are pretty self-explanatory. I feel like I don't need to dive too deep into why. I believe they're all stars. I believe Hughes is low because he's been hurt. He's missed some time. Still pretty deserving of it in my opinion.
Yeah, of course.
Um, and I kind of hated on the Marner pick to be an all-star in real life. But as I looked at it, like he's actually pretty deserving all-star. So Yeah, and that's how he made an all-star. And then I was between Barkov and Barzal for that last spot. I just thought Barzal was more deserving. I thought he's had a better season. He has less offensive talent around him, and he's produced at a similar pace to Barkov, and so I felt that he deserved the recognition, and he's a special player to watch.
See, but
So
I feel like with
he had a
Barkov you have to
5 point
like,
night against my Leafs the other day. So
yeah, but with Barkov it's not just the offensive production, right? You also got the defense.
yeah, but Barzal's also more. He dominates the game more offensively.
That's
You
true.
watch him play.
With the puck on his stick, he looks more dangerous.
Yes, exactly.
So I don't think I had too much different from you. I just the ordering of my players might be a little different. I had Willie Nylander as my left winger one, Artemi Panarin, Brat, and Aho on the left. I know he's a center, but you know, there's just a couple other centers that I felt that needed to be there over some of the other wingers. I feel like it's been a very center strong season this season, as most seasons are. At center, I had Matthews, Hughes, Barkov, Crosby. I obviously in there I took Barkov over Barzell. And on the right, I had Kucherov, Pasternak, Reinhardt, and Gensel. Um, I felt that, you know, Marner could have gone there over Gensel, but I think their seasons are very similar, and Marner's been the number 3 guy on the Leafs. So I felt, you know, as much as we're saying let's not have every team in the All-Star game, I felt that like in terms of how much they matter to their team, I feel like Gensel has a little bit more value there to the Penguins than Marner does to the Leafs at this point in time. You can hate on that pick all you want.
Wouldn't necessarily agree with that. That's a pretty box score bias take. But I
You
get what you're trying to say. That
you can hate on it all
Mitch
you want.
Marner's a perennial Selke candidate, Brett. He's up for the Selke every year, and
I'm aware, and
he scored 90 points like 6 times in his career.
if he was on the Penguins, he'd also probably have more value to them than Gensel, but he's not. And in terms of value on a team, like if we're talking about MVP, let's talk about it like this.
Marner is still close to MVP, even despite being
Even
the
as the
third
third
leading scorer
best player on the
Leafs.
team.
Yes, well, he's not. I wouldn't say he's the third best player. He's just their third leading scorer.
So who's above him?
Matthews, and then him.
So you think that he's better than Nylander still?
He's more valuable than Nylander. I would say Nylander's a better offensive player at this point in time, but Marner is more valuable because he's a perennial Selke can. He's never like the leader, but he's always top 10.
Okay, I can see where you're coming from. I certainly
As a
respect your
Bruins fan
opinion.
who always argues two-way game for most of his players because his players score 80 instead of 90 to 100 points, you should understand what I'm saying.
I do. You know, and Patrice
And the fact that
Bergeron
Jake
is my
Gensel
guy.
does not play any defense.
Yes, I can also appreciate that because that's what Pasternak used to be like. But he's grown. I'm a lover of Jake Gensel. I enjoy watching him play. We'll just say that.
He's shit.
Yeah, you know that hurts. That can hurt. You know, feelings matter.
All right, moving on to the defense. Because I've had enough Jake Gensel talk for the next month and a half. Fuck that guy. All right, my defenseman. So my top deep pairing of who I believe is most deserving in the East: Dobson and McAvoy 1-2. Then Adam Fox and Morgan Riley, and then Victor Hedman and Rasmus Dahlin. I think we're the exact same if I remember your list.
Yeah, I have them in different order. But you know, I think like any way you put it, those are the 6 guys that deserve to be there. But I'll move on to goalies, seeing as we're basically the same on defensemen. Where I have Swayman and Bobrovsky.
Yeah, I'm the exact same.
And I don't know that there's too many other people.
There wasn't really that much of a debate for me there, to be honest. Like, Wall, if he'd stayed healthy, or Martin Jones, if he'd actually played long enough, like either one of them definitely would have been someone I would consider. But like Sorokin, Shesterkin, Vasilevsky, they're obviously all the big names in the East, but they just don't have the stats to back it up so far this year. Those are the top 2 teams in the East. They've played like it. Or the goalies have played like it. And yeah, pretty self-explanatory there. Just moving back to the defense really quick.
Yeah, go for it.
McAvoy did not get in the All-Star game in real life, obviously, because he does not produce offensively the same amount.
He does. He does.
Okay, but he doesn't
He has
produce like
29 points and
Dobson.
30, like in, what, no, I think it's more than that now, but
Okay,
at a certain point he had 29 and 35 games.
but
BC was
okay, but
hurt
Dobson,
for a while
Fox,
there.
Hedman, Riley, Dahlin all produced significant. Like they all have way more points than he does.
I think they
Maybe
have
not
like
way
8
more, but
more
they have
points
more
than him.
points.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a lot for a defenseman.
Yeah, I know. I'm aware. He's getting there, though. He's developing. I think he's going to break his points record this year.
But yeah, anyway, I was
He,
just trying to say, shout out the 2A defensemen. They don't get enough credit league wide. Other than like if you ask the players, like they understand that they're a pain in the ass to play against. It's more they don't deserve from like the writers and the voters. They don't get the same credit they deserve. So thought I'd shout out Charlie McAvoy, something I don't always do. Didn't really used to give him this credit, but
yeah, he
now
still
that
had to battle for him.
we're a paid expert, I have to put my bias aside.
We're
That
talking
connects
about.
us
Okay.
into our new advertising partner, Did It. As you can see on the live stream, we have their logo connected there. Talk to Ted and those guys over there Did It. We onboarded earlier this week. So how does Did It work? Essentially, you guys will join. You get to call us one-on-one. You can, if you have no preference or a specific preference, and Tony and I, you can message us in the app. You have to sign up. First call is free up to 25 minutes. You get we charge $1 a minute, we charge $1.25 a minute. Sorry, you pay $1.25 a minute. First call is free, as I mentioned, up to 25 minutes. See how you like it. We think you'll like it. We're pretty personal to people. Reach out to us. We can help set your lineup, make trades, waiver wire ads, all of it. Everything that we like to talk about here, you can talk with us one-on-one. And so, yeah, I'd like to shout out our new partner, Did It. Tony, do you have anything else to add?
I think you covered it pretty well there, partner. Um, Not much else to say. I think it's definitely worth a try at least once. As he said, you got that one free trial, so make sure to come
Test
in
it
and
out, see what it's like.
use your first 20, 25 minutes free.
Exactly. We have an NHL trade deadline coming up, followed by a fancy hockey trade deadline coming up. So these are important times to determine essentially whether you're going to win your league or not. So check in with Antonio and I, and we can help you there.
All right, let's move on to the West.
So I'll go first. So I have Pedersen, Draisaitl, Hyman, Nichushkin as my left wingers. Then I have McKinnon, McDavid, JT Miller, Jack Eichel as my centers. Then my right wingers are Rantanen, Besser, Forsberg, Jason Robertson. Obviously, I had like more left wingers in there, but we kind of just did it as wingers and who's most deserving. And then my extras, Mark Stone and Connor Bedard. There's people who produce more offensively than Bedard, such as Keller, Pavelski. But I felt that Bedard was deserving.
We talk about control a game,
also,
and he's definitely got that more so than most people.
And you also, just as an NHL fan, you want Bedard in the All-Star game. Let's be real.
Oh, of course.
And obviously, a few of those players are injured. While we're on this topic, we would like to send our condolences to Valeri Nichushkin and his family. Obviously, for those of you who don't know, he's re-entered the NHL Player Assist Program. Not confirmed whether it's related to the incident that happened in Seattle last year in the playoffs. Hopefully it's not. Hopefully it's maybe a bit better than that, a little less gruesome. We won't get into details because we don't want YouTube to take this down. But we'd just like to shout him out. Hope him a speedy recovery. He's been having a monster season, leading the league in power play goals. So we hope that he's able to get better and he's able to come back as quick as possible.
Of course. All right, I'll get on to my list now. Thank you for that sappy story to lighten the mood there for us. Anyway, I think we're
fucking dumb. I just spilled so much water on me. Oh my god, I'm fucking dialed on this Feel Good Friday, baby.
Whoa! I think we're exactly the same on center. I don't think I recognized that when we did the read-through. For my left winger, I have Draisaitl, Forsberg, Connor, and Pedersen. Don't hate on me. I know Pedersen's not a left winger. I just thought that Jack Eichel deserved to be in the All-Star game. And that was he had to make the move to the wing. I don't care. He's got the shot for it.
Who did, Pedersen?
Yeah.
He plays on the wing in real life. They have Pedersen, Besser, or Pedersen, Miller, Besser is their first line.
Really?
Yeah,
I thought he still played
that's why he's
center.
got that. That's why he's got that center left like eligibility.
They don't go two lines?
No, their second line is uh, someone Garland Mikheyev, I think.
Okay. Okay. Well, anyway, then it works. That works even better.
I mean, don't judge the talk.
On the right wing, I got Rantanen, Hyman, Robertson, and Nichushkin has been. I think you had Forsberg in there, and I think we're different on you having, who was it on the right wing that you had Besser. I think you have Besser over Pedersen, right? Is that right? Or is it Besser over Kyle Connor? Something like that.
I didn't have Kyle Connor because I don't
Yeah,
think he's
okay.
eligible due to games missed from injury. So
Okay, but who cares about eligibility? Like, come on. We're supposed to be boycotting the rules.
Okay, but like you still can't. Connor's played like 20 less games than everyone.
I don't know that it's been 20.
It's a
feel like
lot. He's played a lot less games.
I think he's
He's
at
played
like 29
he's
or
played at
something.
least 15. He's played like at least 15 less than everyone,
That's
which is a lot.
That cannot be true.
He missed a
He's-
month. He went out on December the 6th, and he came back on Wednesday, which was January the 17th.
Here, let me check this while you go through your defenseman.
Okay. Also, to answer our question about the Canucks, their second line is Dakota Joshua, Teddy Bluger, and Connor Garland. And then their third line, which really should be their second line, is Mikheyev, Pius Suter, and Andrei Kuzmenka.
Shout out to Pius. What a fucking
But
rocket.
so going to the defense, that top pair, I have Cale Makar, Quinn Hughes. Pretty obvious. They've been kind of the best two defensemen in the league so far this year. They're 1-2 in Norris, expected voting, as it should be. So then the second pairing, I have Philip Hronek and Evan Bouchard. I feel like Bouchard's been underrated. I follow this meme account called Mimamoto, who just constantly strokes the fuck off of Evan Bouchard. Like, he just gives him a double wrister every night.
Hey, as he deserves. I think I saw a stat that was something like
he's been a beast. He has been a beast. And
I think he
so
registered
does
like
deserve it.
9 in-game shots that were like over 100 miles per hour or something like that. Ridiculous.
Yeah, he lets go his bombs from the point. So he's deserving of it. He obviously didn't get in real life, but that's because the current format is fucking stupid. And then the last pairing is Yossi and Heiskanen. Quickly to go back. Shout out Phil Hronek. You know, Canucks fans not like the move trading Islanders first last year for him. Obviously, that's why they traded it first, because he had this year left and he's exploded in a contract year. Going to be some tough decisions, but
he's
shout out Hronek.
He's about to make the bag.
He's going to get paid. He's going to get paid. And then Heiskanen, that was between him and Vince Dunn. But same thing as the Charlie McAvoy shutout. I felt like he deserved the shutout for his defensive prowess over Dunn's. Dunn's not bad defensively by any means, but their points are basically identical. And Heiskanen, to like lead him and Morgan Riley lead the league in like miles skated on ice this year or something ridiculous.
He's getting a ton.
So he deserves the credit there, I think.
I feel like year over year Heiskanen's better, but I had Dunn this year just because I feel like, you know, he deserves.
Yeah,
to be in
you really
game.
can't go wrong with either one of them, to be honest. They've both been really good.
Mm-hmm. All right,
So,
to goalies. I don't think it's I don't think it's much of a competition here with Hellebuck and Demko.
Yeah. I have both of them on my Dynasty Fantasy team. This is why you should call us Undid It, ladies and gentlemen, because we know what we're fucking doing. But also on that note, Tony and I are 1-2 in that league. So like,
and again, I started 0-3. I started 0-3, and I'm like 11-5, I think. Something.
You're
like
not that good. You're 9-5, but yeah, you've been.
Okay. I will be 11-5. Let's
I think I'm 11-2. So, yeah, the boys are dialed. That math doesn't add up. That's why I'm checking right now.
Who won last year again?
Yeah. I am at 12-2.
Show up in the playoffs.
And Tony was 9-5. Listen. This is why I trade away Mitch Marner for Rasmus Dahlin, okay? Because the Leafs choke, whether it's in the fantasy playoffs Whether it's in the real playoffs, why am I a Leaf fan? I don't fucking know. Hang myself.
Let me know when it happens. I'll bring flowers.
Anyway, that'll conclude. Oh,
No,
two
I
things.
have a shout out. I have a shout out. I have a shout out.
Wait,
To
wait.
okay, you can go first. You can go first.
We have breaking news. We have breaking news. The Ottawa Senators have re-signed the gambling addict Shane Pinto to a 1-year, $775K deal. That includes this year because he did not have a contract up to this point. So the Pintinator, whenever he's done serving his degenerate suspension, will be back.
See, but isn't that really like a 1.3 mil contract because he's like missing half the year and making 775 for the rest of it?
Yes. That's basically how it works. Yeah, for him. For the cap purposes, it's still 775, but for him, he basically gets he gets all his game checks for just half the season.
Yeah. Now back to my shout out. I'm gonna shout out the man that robbed the crap out of Boston twice for the win, Connor Ingram. You look at the stats, like I almost wanted to put him in here over Demko. I'm gonna be honest. I almost put him in here over Bobrovsky because I forgot that Arizona was in the West.
Oh gosh, it's early. Okay, it's early. Please, no judgment.
But he is having himself one hell of a season. 918 save percentage. On an Arizona team that is, historically not been great and historically let a ton of goals in. He's been their answer, and he's been a brick wall in net for them this year. So, keep an eye out on him. Yes. I think he's definitely a guy that is not as well known that you could probably go get for cheap. Obviously, people are going to look at his stats, but you could probably sell somebody who has name value for him and pick him up. I don't see him his play dipping off in the rest of this year. I think that they're making a good push this year for the playoffs, and I think that he's going to be a big part of that.
Him and Vmelka, man, that's a fucking dirty duo right there.
Dude,
that's why, I always felt like they should have traded Vmelka and got assets back, but, this is why we're just fancy hockey experts and not NHL GMs, because they know what they're doing better than we do.
But before I knew Connor Ingram was there, I thought Vmelka was going to be the dynasty move. I thought he was the guy to go get, and I did actually
Ingram
get him.
took over. Took over.
All right. Unfortunate for me.
Before we get into some standings review, something I forgot. I don't know if you can pull this up on the screen, but you want to pull up the new NHL All-Star jerseys.
Sure, I'll put those on. Just give me a second.
Yeah, these are. I think Drew House, which is Justin Bieber, had something involved when making it. I think he was the inspiration or something behind it.
What is that?
I actually like them. I want to get a Mojo Pappy one.
They look like a video game.
Have you never seen them? They unveiled them a week ago, bruh.
No, I didn't look.
Here, they look. This is how you can tell it's Drew House. Can you still hear me?
Yes.
If you look at this.
Oh, where'd it go?
So you look at this jersey here, and you flip this one inside out. You can tell, the inspiration is pretty similar between this and the current NHL All-Star jerseys. They look somewhat similar, as you guys can obviously now see the All-Star jerseys. But yeah, I liked them personally. At first, I was a hater. I won't lie. I was not a fan when they unveiled it on Hockey Night in Canada last weekend. But as I can't lie,
I'm still not a fan. But
but as you look at them,
my opinion doesn't matter.
As you look at them, it changes. Trust. I was like, these suck, and then as I continue to see them, posted throughout the week, I started to like them better. I think the Atlantic is blue and the Metro is red, and then I don't know which of the Central and Pacific is white and yellow. But I think they're better.
They look goofy to me. They look like they're from the Looney Tunes.
The point is, you know how basketball jerseys and football jerseys people wear out? People wear them around like it's cool and hip to wear them. That's the inspiration behind this. But they also, when you actually just have them on a hockey player in equipment, it looks better. Because they showed it
Yeah, but I feel like if you want me to wear this around, like I don't know, put like I don't know, like I feel like I wouldn't wear this around. Like maybe the white one, but I'm not even like I'm not a Western fan. I'm an Eastern fan. I'm not buying that
Really, the
blue
only one
one.
I wouldn't wear around personally is the yellow one, maybe the red one, but I'd wear the white or blue one around for sure.
I mean, you are also a Leafs fan though. So like blue does kind of fit
Yeah, but I just
in with
have a
that a
lot.
little
Like, I
bit
mean, like my
better.
shirt's pretty blue. Like as I look around my room, like a lot of the stuff in here is blue. Um, so I just think that that color looks fine. Um, and it looks the I haven't actually seen it with a name on the back yet. You could probably Google it and find it. Um, for those of you who are curious, I think they're cool personally.
Hey, maybe that's the next jersey we cop. You never know.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the NHL standings. We haven't talked about them in a while, so we'll start with the Atlantic. You know, our home division. It's always a strong start for us, and you know, it looks pretty good for me.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
I really enjoy it, and
Are you putting it up on
you
the
know,
screen?
it's up.
Okay.
It's up.
As I'm watching the stream, it's behind from where we currently are. But yeah, looking at the standings, excuse me. I think these are behind. These are as of Wednesday night, so it doesn't include the Leafs dub last night, and yeah. So and the Lightning won last night too, and the Sens and the
And the
Sabers
Bruins won last
and the
night
Bruins.
too.
Yeah. But
Did the whole division just win last night?
I don't think Detroit and Florida played, and
Okay, but
Montreal
like aside
lost.
from like,
But
do
then
we have an
everyone else,
100%?
Montreal lost. Montreal lost to Ottawa,
Oh,
but everyone
okay,
else won.
okay.
Um,
That would have been
but
cool.
obviously the Leafs are now second again with the game in hand. Um, I kind of hope that we struggle a little bit more because I think firing Keefe, hiring Berube is the better long term
You're
play.
in second,
Third.
third. Okay. Yeah.
It's the better long term play, I believe, but we shall see. Otherwise, oh, Buffalo, man. I'm sorry, Sabres fans. We thought you were going to break out this year. So did most of the league. Detroit ended up doing what we thought you guys were going to do. However, I did think Detroit was going to be better um, based on where
I
they
also
currently
thought the
are.
Sens,
Yeah, God, the
like,
Sens, man. The Sens just need a clean house.
what is up with them?
New ownership in there. I would
Like,
just clean house. Just complete fire
it's just
sale at the
disappointing. You
deadline.
bring, like, Chikrin's like, all right, let me go to a team that's going somewhere. Let me go to a team that's going to be going to the
Yeah,
playoffs sometime soon. And now his old team's doing better than his current one. Like,
I know. But I would just Giroux, Tarasenko, Chikrin if he doesn't want to re-sign. Um, there's others there that can like Hamannik. There's others there that can go. I would just sell everyone and then the off season clean house of pretty much all the staff, hire completely new staff, and rock with it. Not like a
now
rebuild, but like
what do we think about the new owner? Like, should there be a grace period or?
I mean, it's obviously when ownership changes. He's a Hamiltonian, Steve Stais. It's obviously going to be a change. Like it's not as much as like a head coach or GM change. I feel like, but like Stais is obviously going to come in there and want to bring his culture, build his culture.
Right, and he's gonna have his own
And the
expectations,
Sens have had a
right? Like
pretty,
he's not
by the
gonna.
look of it, the Sens have had a pretty dysfunctional culture there for a while. And obviously their ownership situation's been a shit show as well. So I think it'll take some time. I think next year, as much as I hate saying this as a Leaf fan because I hate the Sens, I do think they will be better next year. Like their roster just isn't as bad
Yeah.
as it should be.
Well,
So
we'll see what moves.
yeah, probably selling. And then Tampa Bay is struggling, kind of as we thought, although not happening in the way we thought it was. We thought they were going to suck ass with Vasilevsky out, and then they're going to start cooking when he got healthy. They've kind of just been mid all season, whether Vasilevsky's
I
healthy
feel
or
like,
not.
yeah, but I feel like they almost did the opposite. Like when Junis was in net, is that his name?
Yeah,
Jonas?
Junius
Been a while.
Johansson.
Yeah, I feel like they were playing better in front of him. It's like almost like they were protecting him.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but I don't know. Now they're like, oh, we have Vasi back. Let's relax.
I
And
would
they've just
expect
not been.
Detroit to fall off a bit, Buffalo to maybe surge a bit, not to get into the playoffs, but definitely surge a bit more. Montreal, Tampa Bay, Boston to kind of maintain status quo, and then Tampa Bay, or then Panthers and Leafs, I actually have no idea what they're going to do. I mean, actually, I feel like the
Realistically,
Panthers
I
are going
could
to continue
see.
to roll. The Leafs, I don't know what they're.
I think honestly, this hurts me to say this, but I think the it depends how we're going. The Bruins are playing really well, but there was a short stint there where it looked like we were just kind of we didn't have our mojo. And so I was saying that down the stretch, if we don't find that, like we could have been potentially like dropped to 2. But I think there's a chance that the Atlantic actually has 5 playoff teams for the first time in a while. I think the Metro is just a lot weaker this year than we are. Um,
All right, just a bit of
and
sorry, a bit of audio issues there. Sorry, I'm back.
yeah, you're good. I was just talking about how I think we could have 5 teams in the playoffs this year in the Atlantic. Considering
Maybe.
but look, the Lightning, they know how to win. The Lightning are gonna make the
Yeah,
playoffs, guaranteed.
yeah.
And
I don't
it will all depend on the Red Wings.
I
It
don't
will
think they're
all
going to stay
depend
in
on
the
the Red
playoffs
Wings.
because, like, that means that multiple of Pittsburgh, New Jersey Islanders
Here, let's
all
let's actually
miss
let's actually look
at the
what you would
Metro.
have to change. Currently, we actually have 5 teams in the playoffs.
Yes,
Mind you,
but I think
they
by
both
point
like
percentage we don't
no, because they have games in hand.
because Tampa and Detroit have played a lot more.
Yeah, but hey, it's possible. That'd be exciting. Um, Rangers, like we kind of expected to be this good. The
Yeah,
Flyers came out of nowhere, man.
yes,
Carter Hart, we are sorry. We are so sorry. We are sorry. He's the goalie that people have been saying he was going to be for a while, and I think Ben did actually support him, but I definitely
yeah. I was
there was a
still on
point
the
where I
Hart
questioned his
train.
reliability.
Excuse me. I was still on the Hart train, but I did think that the Flyers should have traded him. Except, assuming they obviously wanted to be bad. But yeah, they're in a weird spot now because it's like at the deadline, like you feel like they should still sell. Like they still have a lot of players who, like, if you sell it, would make sense, such as Sean Walker, Ristolainen, even Konechny. Like they definitely should sell some of those guys, but it's also hard because they're like right there, they're competing. So yeah, they're in a weird spot. They're gonna be an interesting team coming down this next month and a half as we approach trade. No, what am I yapping about? Like 3 weeks till the deadline, 4 weeks till the deadline.
Jeez, it's a lot earlier than I
Yeah, it's
feel like.
always in
Like I
like
guess we are
the
already
middle of
like
the.
halfway through the
It's
season.
basically, yeah, we are at the halfway point, and it's also basically the end of January, which I keep forgetting.
Yeah, I feel like with the football playoffs, a lot of people are kind of just distracted, and then they come back to the NHL and they're like, "Damn, we're like 3 quarters through the season." Like we are we're getting there.
The deadline is Friday, March 8th.
Obviously,
Um, so
yeah. So it's gonna be just in time to like that Super Bowl weekend will be like a week before that, right? And then
no,
it'll
no, no.
be
Super Bowl weekend's like second weekend of February.
God, my schedules are off. But yeah, it will be just in time for everybody to come back into hockey, and we're the right place to come for all your updates. And especially, I think we will do a live stream that day. Depends how long. We
We'll
might,
probably
we
stream
might just like
all day. To be honest, we'll probably start streaming at like 9, and
it might, yeah, it might not be both of us, but like either of us will be on like basically the whole day until the end of the trade deadline.
yeah, it's over. The trade deadline's at 3. So yeah, we'll have a variety of guests and such coming in throughout the day to keep it interesting.
Yeah, we might have a guest from our past come in. We'll see. It's to be determined.
Yeah.
A certain
Oh
ozone
no,
was mentioned somewhere
you beat me to it.
along the way there. All
All
right,
right.
let's look at the West. Let's look at the West. No further ado. We got the Central, and man, how much of a surprise were the Jets? In a kind of do or die kind of situation.
If I also
Um,
the reason they're doing so well, I'm looking at goals against right now. The Jets, this is obviously a bit behind, but the Jets, as of Wednesday, had 99 goals against on the season,
wow.
which is first in the league.
Yeah.
Yeah, as I scroll and look, they still have 99 goals against, which is lowest in the league by a lot, by 14, which the next is the Penguins. Shocking. Oh, no, the Kings. Kings have 111, which is second. But yeah, Jets have been really good. Avs, Stars, no surprise there. Blackhawks, Wild, Blues, not being very good. Also, not too much of a surprise. Nashville being in the conversation is has to their coaching, I think, and their veteran leadership that they brought in. Ryan O'Reilly, Luke Shen, Gustav, excuse me, Nyquist. And then obviously the guys are still there. Yossi, Forsberg, they've done a good job. They're kind of a weird mix. Same thing as the Flyers, though. You feel like they're in a spot where you'd want to sell, but they're still kind of competing. So I feel like for the Preds especially, this is worse that they've actually done well because this is what they always do. They're always like squeak in the playoffs, get smoked in the first round every time. And so they'd want to bottom out. I mean, obviously there's still a lot of time to bottom out, but
I feel like the right move here is just to move Saros at the deadline, and then you're just gonna lose for the end of the year. Like that just makes sense to me. Like even if you want to keep your other pieces, like you want to keep Philip Forsberg to bring the fans home, like just move UC Saros. Bring in a bunch of players for him, some prospects.
And then the Coyotes. Shout out the Coyotes, man. They've finally started to compete. Finally started to bring their game. And we said that's going to happen. I think they're going to be competitive. I do think the Predators will start to fall off, but I do think the Yotes will be pretty competitive for the rest of the season. And yeah, not too much else to add there. Blackhawks suck. Wild are going to continue to suck when they have $14 million in dead cap. So that's all to be expected.
All right, let's go to our final division here. Another one that we were just a year too early on, or you were, I guess, as we should say, on the Canucks.
Yeah.
A big shocker there to me. I didn't expect Quinn Hughes to be like that.
Yeah, seriously, they've been absolutely buzzing. There's a bit. The Kings are now out. They dropped out of third now. The Oilers are third in that division now. After last night's win against Seattle, but yeah, the Canucks, they finally figured out. I think for about 3 years, I've said they're going to break out, and then this year I didn't say they're going to be bad, but I didn't say they're going to break out, and now they broke out. So, it's there. It's there. The timing was just off. And then for the Golden Knights, they are really starting to scuffle. They were leading that division, like they were top 3 in the league for most of the year, and so yeah, this is a bit of a struggle for them, mostly because Eichel, Shea Theodore, William Karlsson, Aiden Hill, those 4 for sure on IR. Stone's been obviously banged up a bit. Barbashev's been banged up a bit. Martinez was on IR for a lot of the year. So obviously Robin Leonard is, I think, done for his career. So yeah, they've been going through it with the injuries. I'm definitely worried about them, but luckily Cassie's a good coach. He should be able, and with the start, that combination should be able to get them through the next month until everyone gets back. But
yeah,
I don't
probably
think
anybody's worried about
by the time that happens.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's worried about them missing the playoffs, but they might pull a Vegas again, as we've said in the past, where they just kind of stack it on the trade deadline and then just bring everybody back from the IR late in the season and have a God squad.
I can't really make fun of that because the Leafs have done that in the past too. I mean, that's just playing the rules to the best of your ability.
Yeah.
And then the Kings, the Kings were on fire. They were the best defensive team in the NHL, and then they lost 7 in a row. So obviously the fact that they're still now only still in the wild card, but as of Wednesday when these pictures were taken, we're still in the top 3 in their division is pretty impressive. I think they'll figure it out. Obviously, just every team has a blip like that. Pretty much every team goes through something like that. Like that one point, the Bruins will lose 4 or 5 in a row. Not necessarily in
Yeah,
regulation like the Kings, but
I mean, yeah, we lost 3 in OT there. That was brutal.
yeah. But at least you're still getting a point. But yeah, and then Edmonton, man. Edmonton has been the most bipolar team in the NHL. They go like this, then they go like this,
Dude,
then they go
yeah,
like this, then they go like
what is
this.
with that?
This is they're an interesting team
But
for sure.
I mean, they've been like the best team in the NHL over their last like 20 games or something like that, though.
Yeah, I know. They've been the best team since I think November 1st
Yeah,
in
it's
the
crazy.
NHL. So and look how
Like,
bad look at the fact that they just got into the top 3 in their division still, despite that. Shows you
yeah.
how bad they were at the start of the year.
hmm
And then Calgary and Seattle, they've been surging as the Kings and Golden Knights have been falling. They've definitely been surging up. Seattle won I think like 9 or 10 of their last 13, something like that. Um, and the Flames, they've
I'm so
won.
confused about Seattle, bro. I'm so confused. Are they a playoff team or are they not a
I
playoff team?
still think they're a playoff team. Like they won a round last year. Like I think they're
who are they going to beat out? I don't think they're going to beat out the Kings.
well the Oilers, but they'll
Canucks,
probably
Knights, Oilers. Canucks, Knights, Oilers are all going to stay, I think.
I think the Predators currently have the second wild card spot.
Okay.
And they would beat them out.
I could see that changing.
I
Yeah, yeah.
think they're the most likely out of Calgary, Nashville, Arizona, and themselves. I think they're the most likely to get in, most deserving to get in. And yeah, and then the Ducks and Sharks, they suck. But what about Zegras wanting out, or the Ducks wanting Zegras out? That's a bit of a weird situation going on there. Any
Yeah,
thoughts?
yeah. Um, I feel like it's gonna be a thing where like the Ducks are competing next year. I feel like this year's just the morale in the room just feels weird. Like I feel like it's almost like
You keep thinking they're
it's
going to
not
do
even.
better, and yet you look at and yet they're 15, 28, and 1.
Yeah, I feel like maybe they need like a front office sweep or something like that. Like they're obviously the Drysdale trade was an interesting one. Like we can take a second to talk about that. Like
That was a good
Cutter
trade
Gauthier for Drysdale.
in a second. Drives on a second, but that was I think a good
I
trade
just
that was a good trade for the Ducks. Obviously, Gauthier wanted
I
out
mean
of Philadelphia.
we'll have to see though. We'll have to
Well,
see.
Gauthier was a
Like
6th overall pick, and Drysdale has had tons of injury problems,
I know, but
and he's
Drysdale's been
older,
great for Philly so far.
and he's getting paid now. Like he's making real money, whereas Gauthier's still on his ELC.
Yeah, but like Drysdale's been great for Philly already, and my one question is like, look, the Ducks have brought in these players that I don't know if they're like really team commit players. Like, look, Zegras, he's a guy that like just
That's
seems
like
like
the only
he's
one though.
okay, but like there's also like Cutter Gauthier just abandoned Philly. I know it's because they didn't want to sign him on an ELC early,
Yeah,
but like
there's
still,
more going on there than those
if you
things
really
reported though. It's not like there's definitely
yeah, we
more.
have to see. I don't
Something
know, but
else
like that
happened.
whole organization is shitting on him.
Yeah,
So
as
like
they
maybe he
should,
was
but it was like, yeah,
okay, but like I feel like it's like the diva personalities that they've brought in there. So we'll still have to see what they how they deal with that.
yeah. I still think Philadelphia did a really good job to get the return they did with the situation. The fact that Daniel Briere was able to keep that out of the media is also pretty impressive, given the level of media there is going on right now. The fact that like nobody, that's why everyone was what in the NHL franchise mode was this trade? To then realize obviously what's going on after the fact is pretty fucking impressive. So good on Briere.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Not something you see a lot in sports media. The analysts are normally right on it. But.
yes. I don't know if there's really no way if you find out that information not to tell them either. Like it kind of has to just like if the media finds out they're reporting it. So that's impressive there. Um, all right. So we're gonna stay live for about 5 more
We have
minutes, and then we'll
yeah.
wrap it up here. So just to finishing, we will talk some fantasy for a bit. So Antonio, I know I'm putting you on the spot here. We've not discussed this,
Yeah.
but give me off the top of your head uh, 5 candidates you're looking to buy right now in fantasy.
Connor Ingram, big one, number one. We already indicated that. I mean, I've been focused a lot on goalies recently because personally in Dynasty right now, I'm in a bit of a goaltender situation where I literally have the Bruins pairing and that's about it. I did pick up Luke Dostal, who's been as good as you can be for the Ducks for a bit there. Let's think about it. What was another one that I was looking for? Kachuk, if
It's a
their
bit too
manager
late
hasn't.
for that now.
I know, but if the manager hasn't been paying attention, you might be able to ship off like a guy like Crosby, or not. Crosby's like probably fair value, but like I would probably try somebody even a little bit less. I'm trying to think somebody that's producing around the same as what Kachuk's average is right now. Because Kachuk's like average in our league, we play Bangos. It started around like 3, and it's now like shot up to 5 over the last 30 days. So like that's a perfect buy.
I mean, kind of
If
missed
you
the
can
window
still get him,
though.
if you're, I know, but if the manager's not been paying attention as much and is kind of just looking at the points per game, like a lot of people do,
Yeah,
that's a great guy to go get. Um, I'm trying to think. I'll give you 3 because five seems like a lot.
sure.
Um, I'll try and go with a defenseman here. I don't know. Who do you got? Who do you got? You do 2, and then I'll come back with the
Okay,
third.
so one is Shea Theodore. He's on IR right now, but he's expected to return soon-ish. He's someone that I'm looking to buy right now, especially because I feel like every team's always short defensemen. I would go out and grab him while he's still cheap. Thinking off the top of my head, someone I'd send either way, someone like um, Brent Burns, if they're willing to take that. He's had a kind of down year, but I'd send him the other way. I'd send Travis Sanheim the other way. Um, I'd send obviously a bit different depending on your scoring, um, but yeah, something like that. I'd send the other way. Um, Another guy is John Tavares. He has, I think, like 1 point in his last 5 games. But if you look at any advanced metrics, it's not that he's been bad. It's just he's been almost unlucky. Like his percentage of points while he's on the ice has dropped like, I think, 60% in those last 5 games. His expected goals is still maintaining its current pace, but the actual goals is not. So again, that's a perfect time to tell you that you should buy that player. Um, Another player is Sam Bennett. He just scored 2 goals against the Ducks on MLK Day on Monday. He's just been off to a really slow start, but as Kachuk starts to pick it up, as the Panthers' offense starts to pick it up, which is weird to say because they've been so good all year, but their offense hasn't been the same level. Um, I like Bennett as my 3 candidates. So to wrap it up, I like 3 candidates I like to buy right now: Theodore, Tavares, and Sam Bennett.
Yeah, and I just figured out who my third player was because we actually did talk about him briefly there, but it's Jamie Drysdale. He's been a good guy for the Flyers so far, and relatively easy to buy right now, and I think I really like his upside there um, on his new team, and it seems like it's been a great fit so far.
Yeah.
Nobody really knows what's happening. He's been on a bad team all year, I'd give it a shot there for something cheap.
All right, and then very briefly, 2 players you're looking to sell right now.
Oh gosh, guys that I want to sell. All right, you give yours first because you've
All right,
kind of been thinking
the
about
first one
this.
for me, I would say Ryan O'Reilly. Um, Obviously, his name value is not there as much anymore. Like people don't see Ryan O'Reilly as an elite scorer. He's been obviously a pretty good scorer. And I'm not expecting a huge return. It's just more like, as we said, we're kind of expecting the Predators to start to fall off. So to kind of sell him, even if you sell him for someone who's producing equally at this moment in time, someone like a Joel Eriksson out of Minnesota, um, even like a Carter Verhaeghe, if you can get him, something like that is someone who I would maybe look to ship off. Just because I feel like as the offense starts to fall off, as an older body starts to reach the second half of the season and is starting to play less relevant games, starts to break down, starts to rest more. So that's kind of my reasoning there. And then the second one that I'm looking to kind of sell is Martin Jones. Obviously, Joseph Wall is traveling with the team. Not obviously, but Martin Jones. Joseph Wall's starting to travel with the team. The team will start to work him back in. They'll probably split till about mid-February as they work Wall back in to make sure he doesn't get hurt. But this is still Wall's net, still Wall's team. So if you can sell him while he's still the starter, you could probably get some return along the lines of a um, it sounds crazy to say, but someone like a Sorokin, who's been Jones's. You might have to throw someone else small in there, um, like like I would do something like Martin Jones and Brent Burns or Sorokin. If so, the guy needs a defenseman, you throw in a defenseman down there. Jones obviously has been performing really, really well for Leafs, and he's on a team that obviously wins a lot, and he's getting a lot of games played right now too. And Sorokin is as much as he's a big name, if you're able to convince your current owner to ship him off and stop focusing on the name value, you should be able to get something like that.
All right, and my two, I have Allmark. Obviously, he was hurt, but the main part here that you need to focus on is that Swayman was able to then get his games in net, and he played really well for the team. So he's the first one that you should be looking at to sell Allmark. And then the other guy that I'm looking at to sell is Matt Duchene. Older guy on an aging team in Dallas. And just down the stretch, I don't see his production staying up to par with where it is. Generally, it's the younger guys, I feel like, on that team, like Hintz and Robertson, that pick it up as they pull into the playoffs, and Duchene normally falls off around this time of the year. I feel like he's always kind of that waiver guy that people look for. He's been a little bit better this year, but just a guy that I feel like is going to fall off somewhat soon because he's also 33 now, getting up there in age, and physically just going to decline during the end of the year. But I think that's going to be it for the episode today. We're going to end the stream here. Thank you all for listening in.
Normally we will go longer. Just we have a few time constraints that have to kind of keep us in here. But excuse me. Check out our Instagram to find all the scheduling. It's in our link tree, also in our story highlights on Instagram. We'll post plenty of times when we're going live. We'll typically be going live Wednesday night, Friday morning. Those are 2 times, and then we'll release a podcast every Sunday afternoon for you guys to start to kind of set your week. But yeah, one last time we like to shout out Did It. Feel free to call us one-on-one. You have to download Did It app, create your account. And yeah, as we said, first call's free up to 25 minutes. So please call us. We're going to be online. Also, our online Did It schedule will be posted, so you guys know when we can call. You can message us if we're offline. If you're online, feel free to give us a call. We'll answer every time.
Awesome. All right, everyone. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you the next time we